fans really, really jazzed up. But, Poch is a defender. He likes defenders, and he really is adamant about providing a world-class backline for us, and you have to support that. And we don't give up a lot of goals. It gives whether it's a humble offense, it gives them the opportunity to win 1-0 if we have to. Unfortunately, that didn't happen today.
Yeah, the club record fee that goes along with this player. Do you think it's attributed to talent, or do you think it's simply attributed to the business that clubs are having to do these
unsustainable days? Transfer fees?
Yeah,
I think it's attributable to that. And
actually,
nothing else.
I got something on so I'm looking up kind of some of the FA's qualifications for the work visa. Now, Colombia is a good team, so I think they're in the top 10 rankings for FIFA. So you have to have started 30% of their games over the last 2 years to come in for the work visa on automatic qualification. Then you have exceptions. One of those exceptions is the 75th percentile of transfer fee paid for the player. So maybe that might have something to do with why it's so high. That might be part of the way that we get him in under a work visa.
Oh, well done.
It's
Hashtag lawyered.
Yeah.
Wow, well done, counselor.
Totally counselored that one.
Because it's an add-on, so I don't know if it's the initial fee, if it matters that much. Maybe they look at the add-ons. I need to look more into it. I can't say for a fact right now, but I know I'm looking at it right now. That's one of the criteria to meet an exception is the transfer fee.
So say this all goes through and he gets maybe 3 days of training, Sam, with the club. Wanyama obviously not 100%, and it showed today. Is there any way we slide Dyer up, give Wanyama a little bit of a break here going into the international break, and maybe give Sanchez a run out at center back and a 3 at the back formation?
Man, I suppose it's possible, but it's a big ask.
Don't forget Winksy. Why not put Winksy in there and leave Dyer?
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah, I've sort of learned never be surprised. Although that seems a tall ask. Young player anyway, and never played the Premier League.
And for me, on the surface, for me, this starts to, have that aroma of we are now starting to build a squad that will have some depth for these, cup competitions, for the Champions League. Give us an opportunity to rotate the squad a little bit as needed, and that defensive back line is an area where occasionally that becomes needed. Guys are getting nicked and scraped up, and if CCV and Wimmer are not the answer, and you don't want to run the risk of playing Dembele each and every week, or Winks, who's still coming off of an injury, Wanyama coming off an injury, I think this was a great move. With what we do have left in the transfer window, I think it's 11 days now at the time of recording. Tim, what do you honestly think will happen? Who are the players that we can go get? Where are the positions that absolutely we have to have at least one more piece to cover? Your thoughts on all that?
I think right back, I still think we need to bring someone in at that position. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Barkley happens, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it does not happen because of the injury, and he's looking at a bit of a lengthy layoff. We could come back in for him in January if he doesn't sign a new contract and get him on a free.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What would a healthy Ross Barkley have done for us today off of the bench? Because he comes in when Sissoko comes in, right? Or excuse me, comes in when Sissoko comes. I thought about that today. He's been the guy all summer long, right? Everybody knows he's gonna be signed.
It's a good question.
What does he do for us there? When we just what we lacked in my mind was pace and width.
What did Sissoko do coming off the bench today?
Nothing. You might as well put a corpse out there.
Oh, it's terrible, wasn't it?
It really was. I kept on, Well, Tim, I have a hard time seeing, and I don't know whether it's my eyesight or the TVs or a combination thereof.
Your text on your phone is so big.
It's huge. It is big. And I keep on getting every man of color confused with Wanyama. So I couldn't tell what Sissoko was doing, and then when I got home and watched it on my own TV, I realized he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
it's like it wasn't even there.
I think it was Jamie Carragher that came out this week and said when Ozil's playing for Arsenal on the pitch, they may as well be playing with 10 men. And honestly, that's almost what it seems like with Sissoko most matches. That he's more of a hindrance than he is something that's positive that's going on. Would Barkley have made a difference today? I think over him he would have. No, over Sonny, I don't think so. I thought Sonny played really well for the 20 minutes that he got.
I don't think so either because, Barkley coming in is going to be kind of doing the same thing Eriksen and Dele are doing. I don't think he's going to do it as well. I think what we needed coming in is someone with pace. That's why Sonny came on. Exactly.
Somebody can beat a man. Yeah.
Or maybe shout out to Kenny or Lamella.
Which I'm getting a new signing if we get him back healthy in a couple of months.
I agree with you. I do agree with you on that. I think, if we could have had Lamella at full health coming in today instead of Sissoko, I would have loved that.
Yeah. But hang on, with all due respect, we've lamented and moaned for quite a long time. He's been a terrible sub in his time at Spurs, and he's never a guy to really beat a man, except for that glorious goal that he scored against Burnley, where I thought, why doesn't he do this more? So my whole point to this is that I think Barkley is a good ad because I think you need to have that kind of depth, and he does what Pochettino likes, which is players filling multiple roles. But he's not a threatening guy. I don't really view Eric Lamella as a threatening guy, and I don't think we have a threatening guy.
Yeah, Barkley.
Except maybe Nkudu was probably the better substitution.
But he's injured still.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay. Well, he was warming up, so I didn't know. I figured he was.
Yeah. Barkley. You see him more as. I don't see him as someone coming into the game as a sub to change it. I see him as being a very good option when players are tired during fixture congestion.
Yeah, or trying to actually lock down a 2-1.
Well, in a match like today, especially, it's like when they're basically playing 10 behind the ball. I'm a fan of the kid, but I want a Lamella because if you're going to break them down and have that one moment or that one pass that can really make a difference. It's not going to come from Sissoko or almost anybody else other than Eriksen at that point. You may as well have at least one or two other options. And God bless him, Trippier couldn't cross to save his life today, it seemed like. I don't know.
Yeah, look, they had a Pedro and they had a Batshuayi and we had a Moussa Sissoko.
But we also had a Sonny. We did.
That's true. That's true. He probably should have started today.
Yeah. Chairs. Let me ask you this: when you think about Barkley, and if we are truly in for him, as it seems that we are, does it help with in terms of Levy wanting to drop the price that he is as injured as he is, and then he's going to be out probably for another at least few weeks, if not a month, before he can get back on the pitch? Do you go ahead and take that chance and try to sign the player now injured? Is that even allowed? I'm not even sure. Or do you wait till the winter, or maybe even wait and see what happens at the end of the year?
Well, he's out of contract at the end of the year, so he could go for nothing. And
but would he come to us? That's the key, right?
Well, yeah. Then it's going to be fair market price on whoever wants to pay him whatever he wants for his salary. And I think we already know, based on some of the rumors we've heard, what he really wants, which we know he's not going to get at Tottenham. But I think you have to take a gamble. We've got how long? It's the 19th today. It's the 20th tomorrow. We've got 10, 11 days, and it's all over. So we've got we're hearing all these rumors about player X, Y, and Z coming in the next few days. So I really think Barkley is a player that Poch can get the best out of. He's been inconsistent at Everton, but when he is good, he's really good. He offers a bit more up top than some of our other midfielders playing in that holding role. And I think he has that opportunity, that free reign to be a box-to-box player with an end product. And I think Poch can take him to the next level. And I think he knows that himself, and that's why he's probably posturing for this move.
And I'll say I want him now instead of waiting for the winter, even though it might cost more to get him now because, look at it from this way. He wants to go to Russia. He's on the fringes of the English national team. And we know that in these years right before a World Cup, when a player hasn't had their spot solidified on the national team, they're trying a lot harder. I think you're going to get the best out of him right now rather than waiting until the winter. Even if you do get him on a free, like you sign him after January, after the window has closed. But if he hasn't signed a new contract, you get him on a free. You don't get him until after the World Cup. And so you don't get that product. I think he's going to try his damnedest to make make a spot on the English national team, and I'd like to take advantage of that.
Jesus.
So with my dog.
Last week is cats.
Now it's dogs.
Dogs.
All right, let's switch gears just a little bit. This week, oh, by the way, there's this little thing on Thursday called the Champions League Group Stage Draw. This thing happens at 4:45 p.m. British Standard Time. That's 11:45 on the East Coast here in the States. Do the math to figure out what time that is for you. That's 10:45 for us. I'm looking at these pots and seeds, and man, there are some really interesting teams that we could be grouped with in these stages. I don't know if anybody else has taken a hard look at these, but Sammy, your thoughts on the draw, and are there any particular teams, good, bad, or indifferent, that you'd like to see us play in the group stages?
I haven't seen the pots. I know enough about Spurs to say that we're going to get the worst group imaginable.
So that we can all blame Wembley for our performance when we play these teams.
Yeah. I just I just know it's gonna. That's at least what we should all expect. And anything other than that is just pure gravy. So expect Bayern and I honestly haven't looked at the pot, but I would expect us to probably end up being a little bit like Arsenal has been, group wise in the past few years.
Yeah, so seeded 1, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Benfica, Chelsea, Shakhtar Donetsk, Monaco, and Spartak Moscow. Pot 2 provisional, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, Sevilla, Man City, FC Porto, and Man United. Pot 3 provisional, Napoli, Spurs, FC Basel, Olympiacos, Anderlecht, Liverpool, Roma, and Besiktas. And pot 4, all other qualified teams, including Feyenoord and RB Leipzig. Blah, 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 blah. That's about it for teams right now. So pot 4, I guess, is still being determined. I guess there's some final math and matches and whatever that are taking place this week to fill up pot 4. So when you look at these pots, man, there's a lot of tough teams. Being in pot 3, although we finished second last year, I'm trying to remember why that happened and why City and United are in a pot 2. Well, United
it's because United. Because United won Europa, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's why. And City, I don't know, probably because
my point exactly.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Fuck it, bring on Real Madrid, bring on PSG.
Yeah, who was it? One of the pods was talking.
That was
about
me. That was me last year. Yes,
and bring us give us the hardest.
That's what I'm saying. Give us some talent. Give us a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, think about what we did. Like our best Champions League showing ever was near impossible groups.
Yeah,
and we got to the quarterfinals. So I'm fine with that.
It'll be fun. So that takes place Thursday. So something to look forward to for midweek. And then of course we come back around to another match at Wembley against Burnley. Timmy, I'm going to start with you, and I want to go ahead and start with any injury updates that you have for this match. It's not a match that frightens me, but I'll take any good news on the injury front from Burnley if you have it.
Nope, I got nothing for you. They do not have any new injuries.
Any old injuries?
I feel like we should have some intro music for the injury whisperer.
Ooh, yeah, we can do something like Friday the 13th or Psycho music. Or...
Edit something in.
Yeah, give me something.
All right.
Old injuries, they do have Dean Marney out still, but he's been out since January. So, I mean, that's a really old injury. It's not like anyone would have expected him to play.
Ex-Spurs player. I'll never forget the goal he scored in his debut against Everton. I thought he was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Really?
Yeah. It was years ago. It was probably 10 years ago. He's been in the league a long time. I mean, this was what? This was when Martin Yall was manager, I think, is when he got his debut for us. 8-9 years ago? Wow.
Do you remember that?
It was the Thronker. Come on, Chairs. Get your mute button off.
Who are we talking about?
Dean Marney.
Dean Marney. Oh, it was against Everton. I remember. Yeah, it was.
Yall was managing, wasn't he?
Yeah, Martin Yall was managing.
Christ,
so
that was 506?
It might have been.
That's a long time.
Hey, Sam, you could tell Chairs wasn't listening to a word you said because he came on with, "Oh yeah, it was against Everton."
I don't blame him at all. Most of the time I talk shit anyway. So
yeah, the only thing I know about injury updates right now is that the last time I saw Lyle give an update on Lamella, I think he said he'll be back in months. Is what he
October.
said. Oh, fuck's sake! Well, maybe it'll be a trick for me, or a treat rather than a trick. But God, I'm ready to get him back. I just really am, because I want to see if there's a player there. I still